This podcast discusses a non-stop, thrilling adventure fantasy series set in the brutal and competitive world of a military college for dragon riders, which includes potential spoilers for all published material. This episode includes elements regarding health concerns, chronic pain, broken bones and dislocations, surgery, and explicit language, including sexually explicit language. Listeners who may be sensitive to these elements, cross the parapet at your own risk and prepare to enter the Wing Readers. Welcome to the Wing Readers, where we deep dive into the Empyrean series chapter by chapter, theorize, and overanalyze. I'm Abby.
I'm John.
Cassie.
And today we are covering 4th Wing Chapter 17. Here is your friendly reminder about spoilers, yada yada, you know the deal by now. So we are going to go right into a battle brief, and in case there's anyone out there who just really does not care about our battle briefs, totally get it. There are timestamps in the description. I always forget to say that early on before people might start skipping anyway. So a little battle brief about my personal health journey, if anybody is interested in hearing it. So I went to my physiatry appointment yesterday. So physiatry, for anyone who doesn't know, is physical medicine and rehabilitation. They take a real holistic look at the entire body, and their main goal is to get people like out of pain and functioning better, with medication as like a last resort. So that's not really what they do. It's not quite a pain management clinic in that sense. But yeah, so I met with the physiatrist, and she actually did like a full body movement assessment, which was new for me, which you would think wouldn't be new for me based on all of my problems. But yeah, so she really heard me out. We talked about a lot of things, and I did tell her that I thought that I had some hypermobility. So after the test, she did say that I have a lot of laxity in my joints, meaning that they can move more than they're supposed to, but not in every joint. So technically, I am not hypermobile.
And this is
this
where
is a
I got
conversation.
confused because, first of all, I've never heard of laxity.
Mhm.
And when I was Googling it, the only thing I could come up with as a phrase is ligament laxity. Because otherwise you just get the definition of the phrase laxity, which is like when things are flexible or whatever. But yeah, like that never came up when I was talking to my doctor or my physical therapists. The only word that came up was hypermobility. That's the only word I asked about. My doctor had me do the little hypermobility test, which is just like bending in a bunch of weird ways. And my understanding is that it doesn't have to be every joint. It just has to hit a certain threshold. And you get like points for each thing. And if you get a certain number of points, then that counts as whatever amount of hypermobile. And hypermobility itself is like a range as well. So I hit enough of the points to count for the scale, but not all of my joints are as bendy as some of the super crazy examples that you'll see on the internet. And so I'm considered like moderately hypermobile.
Okay, yeah, maybe for that I should get another opinion, which just feels so daunting because she said literally the only joints that she tested that are not hypermobile are my hips, and I have so many problems with my hips, and they used to be a lot more mobile than they currently are, but they are so tight and so messed up lately that they can't quite move very well. So
2 points out about hips. One is that even in people who are hypermobile, the hypermobility can decrease with age because even hypermobile people's joints will stiffen up with age. The other thing is that with hypermobility, with all of the joints being so lax and flexible and not supporting you, a lot of times the pelvic muscle, like the pelvic floor and the hips, are what tighten up to balance all of that out. So you can end up with really tight hips, and like I've had this too, which is the other thing I went to PT for. So that to me from the little bit of research that I've done, is a very normal pattern in hypermobile people. So it's interesting that she's using that as like the thing to rule out.
A disqualifier. Yeah. So I don't know.
But we learned a new word.
Yes, we learned a new word. So yeah, basically she also reviewed the MRI of my knees back from 2023, and she was like, "Oh, so did they ever tell you that you have patellofemoral syndrome?" And I'm like, what?" So no, the answer is no. That basically means that my kneecap is not really in its correct place on both knees.
Oh.
And so when it goes, it's supposed to like glide nicely over the bone, and
Mm-hmm.
mine does not. Mine don't do that. And it's been a problem for so long that when my bones were still forming, they formed around the kneecap. So there's no fixing it.
Oh my
There's no getting it to where
gosh.
it needs to be. The bones are like jutting out on either side of my kneecap instead of the kneecap fully being over the leg bones. So that's fun.
Oh.
So she basically told me, she's like, yeah, this is just something that like you're gonna have to live with for your life. Like this is always gonna be a problem. She was like, really the only things she was like, like we could do steroid shots, but with how young you are, I don't want to do that because that can cause like a ton of problems later on down the road. She was like, really taping up your knees, which I do almost every day already. She said physical therapy and then just strengthening the muscles around the joints to protect them, much like
Mm.
Cassie was
Mm-hmm.
discussing a few episodes ago. I don't know. We tend to record in batches, so I don't know exactly when that was, but um yeah, so she referred me to a physical therapist that is going to literally take care of me from head to toe. Another thing that she noted is my posture is terrible, which it always has been, I guess. And my muscles along my spinal cord and in my glutes they're not firing when they're supposed to be. So I have like all these different muscles that are like trying to compensate and causing a lot of pain.
How did she test that? Or like, how did she, like, did she just look at your posture and was like, I can tell you're not using these muscles? Or did she have you, like, try to do something?
She had me try to do something. So first she like, saw me stand and kind of like poked and prodded and watched me walk, and then she had me lay down and had me like lift my legs in certain ways, and
Mm.
she was like holding certain parts of my back as I did that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that she was, feeling like the tensing of those
Yeah, okay.
muscles. Yeah. So I did ask her at the end. I was like, "So would there be anything like underlying that could cause like the laxity of my joints?" And she's like, "Nope, that's just how you were made." And so I was like, "Okay."
Okay, but
And
how
I
are you
chicken
made? Like,
So I did chicken out about asking about Ehlers-Danlos because she was so confident, like, "Nope, nothing." And I'm like, "Okay."
I mean, like having extra collagen for and being like literally is one of the things that causes hypermobility. Like, there's something causing it, whether or not she thinks it's like a disease,
Yeah.
separate issue. But like, there's literally a mechanism occurring.
So, I feel like we're on the right
But
track.
you've
We're on the
gotten
right
some more
track.
answers than you've gotten before, especially about the knee. That's so. Because I
Yeah.
remember in college, and I know that this had been a problem even before then, but I remember in college
Hmm.
you would complain about it, and you'd seen people like during that era too, and they
Yeah.
just kept being like, no, nothing's wrong.
They're like, "Stop hiking." That's what they would tell me. And yeah, it's frustrating. Like, it's frustrating because I mean, really what it comes down to right now is like, "Oh, you just got to strengthen your muscles." I'm like, I'm in so much pain 24/7. Like, even thinking about doing any exercise, like,
Yeah,
it's
there's
inconceivable a lot of
an
the time.
obstacle in front of that step.
Yeah. So another thing is I told her that I still diligently do yoga even though it's becoming more difficult. She goes, "Well, I love yoga, but actually for someone like you, it's not always the best thing because you're going to be pushing your joints farther than they're supposed to be going." And I'm like,
This is a question that I had when you said that because there are ways to do yoga that are fine for
"Mhm.
hypermobile joints. The way that yoga is typically done and like marketed and sold to people is all about the stretching and like deepening stretches and like going to your limits and stuff, which is exactly the opposite of what you and I should be doing.
Yeah, she told me if I'm going to do yoga to like hold back farther than I can actually go, which like I hate
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to, like, I'm going to because that's what I should be doing, but I'm like, I love being like the really flexible person in my
Yeah,
yoga
I feel
classes.
you.
I'm like, I like being able to like touch my toes and wrap my arms around the back of my legs and
Yeah.
like,
Because the way
but
that I view it is the way to make yoga work is you have to view the yoga as a strengthening thing and not a flexibility thing. So you're there trying to hold yourself up in a pose, not sink into the limit of the pose.
yeah. And I mean, and I usually do that in like the vinyasa yoga classes, but the yin yoga classes are all about those deep stretches and like
And those are
literally there's
so yeah.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, um,
And as you're saying this, I mentioned this in our chat earlier too, but when I was seeing my PT and asking him about hypermobility for the first time, the upper body guy who's also hypermobile, so like he kind of knows what he's talking about, and he
mhm.
was just like pulling on my wrist. He was like, "Your wrist is really stretchy." And I'm like, I can't tell. I can't feel what you're doing, but he's just like, yeah, like I can feel your wrist joint just like pulling apart and coming back together.
Gross. So, um, besides that though, she ordered a few more blood tests, which I think 3 of the 4 have come back and they've all been negative. She did tell me she's like, I don't think they'll come back positive, but just to rule a few
Mm-hmm.
things out. I also went ahead and got x-rays of my neck slash back, so I guess, my spine,
Mm-hmm.
my shoulders and my hips. And those all came back normal, which we suspected they would. And at this time, she doesn't have plans of ordering MRIs of anything, but she also talked about in the future potentially doing a type of injection. Of course, I can't remember off the top of my head. She did say that it is very difficult to get it approved through insurance, unfortunately. So,
Mm.
possibly doing MRIs in the future would like strengthen our case, especially if I have PT under my belt and I'm still needing something extra.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see. But the only other comment that I had about that is actually very relevant to a point later in the chapter. So when we get to it, I will be able to give my little 2 cents about it.
Did she explain at all the difference between laxity and hypermobility, or was she kind of just saying it's if it's not all your joints, then it's laxity?
That's what she said, yeah.
Okay.
So basically, she said that I wouldn't have hypermobility unless I have laxity in all of my joints. Which again, I don't know
Okay,
if I
okay.
agree with that, but
Okay, so laxity is like the term for the looseness in the joint. Having
mhm,
that overall as a condition is called hypermobility.
that's how I understood it,
Okay.
yes. So that's my story. Yeah, I feel like we're moving in the right direction, but still a long road ahead. So,
Cassie, do you have anything?
Nothing specific. My feet hurt. Sometimes my hands hurt. Things are kind of at a stasis point.
I will share really quick, and mine's going to be very, very, very super
please.
quick. Our audience doesn't know this, but in October,
Yes.
yes, October of last year, end of October, yeah, end of October, because October 31st, Halloween was my surgery. I
Yes,
broke
that's right.
3 bones in my foot. Um, and as was mentioned, had surgery on Halloween.
So spooky.
Had a plate and 4 screws along with an alignment rod, a temporary alignment rod placed. I got news on Monday that I have been relieved of all activity restrictions. I no longer have to go back to my ortho doctor. I am in the clear.
Yay!
And I found out that if I ever wanted to, I could technically have my plate and screws removed.
That sounds like work.
I'm not gonna, because I like to have metal in my body.
You want to not have to go through the metal detectors in TSA.
It's titanium, so it doesn't detect. It's
So it's
non-ferrous.
fine. Okay, well that's not quite as exciting.
So you're telling me
as
I
getting
can
to
make
opt
a
out.
bomb out of titanium?
I did not say that,
Just
but
kidding.
if you wanted to, no one is stopping you.
I don't know anything about that. Please don't put me on a list.
For legal purposes, this is entertainment
That was a
value
joke.
only.
This is my just kidding star.
Yeah, so I asked about that, whether I needed to have special paperwork to go through the airport, and he's like, no, basically everything that we put in the human body for the last, 15 years has been x-ray body scan safe, and you will not have any issues. And push comes to shove, if I just carry my x-ray with me, they'll look at it and be like, I understand.
Just I have it folded up in my pocket.
Right, I'm just going to fold up a copy and stick it with my passport, and that's where it will live for the rest of my life.
Nice.
Love it. So what I'm hearing is you went for Frankenstein as Halloween.
I didn't go as
Frankenstein's monster.
Okay.
Cassie, yes, obviously Frankenstein's monster.
He was actively on the lab bench being constructed.
I keep talking about being, what's the word that I kept using, Cassie? The, something science experiment. Something science experiment. Jules Verne's science experiment. Because I had that fucking rod sticking out of my foot. Like, so, yeah, one of my fractures was very close to the head of the bone, and the only way that they could keep it in place and stabilize it while the repair occurred was to literally skewer a rod down the length of the
trigger
bone.
Warning.
Yeah, trigger warning to everybody.
There's your first content warning for the
episode. I'll put it in the beginning.
And so, like, I literally just had this, like, metal rod sticking out of my foot with a ball on the end of it that had to get, like, taken out 6 to 8 weeks later. It was, yeah, you all look like that. Now imagine it being your actual foot.
Yeah, this is why I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
That was a Jules Verne science experiment.
My mom, when I was in high school, she broke several of her toes and dislocated her big toe. It was like at a 90-degree angle to the rest of her foot.
Oh.
And so they had to do a surgery with a rod in it to put it all back to rights.
See, and like back then they probably had what's called an external fixation device, which means that they had like metal rods coming out of the bones, and then there was like something on the outside that kept it all in place.
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember. It was middle school, actually, not high school, because I remember I took the x-ray into my 7th grade science teacher. It was a minute ago.
Yeah, no.
Anyways.
I have all sorts of pictures and videos and x-rays, and it is not for the squeamish. If you are squeamish, you will not want to look at these pictures ever.
Yeah.
I can deal with bones. I like how they look.
I'm okay with x-rays, but if I have to see flesh, I'm out.
I'm not a flesh or blood type of person.
Just wait, Cassie. In just over a month, you're going to be able to see my scar.
I'm okay with scars. The flesh is closed at that point.
Yes. I'm so hoping that I can make it. I would like to see the scar as well.
The scars, I should say multiple scars, because I got one on the top of my foot and then one on the bottom of my foot where the rod came out.
Oh.
I'm not going to stop saying it, because if I had to suffer it, you all have to too.
On that note...
I think that's enough of our bodies. We can move on to Violet's body now. So, right back over to you, John, our resident scribe, to break down the epigraph of chapter 17.
Of course, we have another fun little entry to Major Offender's Guide to the Writer's Quadrant, unauthorized edition, which means the scribes didn't get their hands on it, little bastards. It is therefore only natural that the more powerful the dragon, the more powerful the signet its rider manifests. One should be aware of a strong rider who bonds a smaller dragon, but even warier of an unbonded cadet who will stop at nothing to seize a chance to bond.
Very relevant for this chapter.
Yep. Pretty straightforward, too. I feel like there's not a lot of breaking down to be done.
Except for it totally calls out that everyone's staring at Violet wondering what signet she's gonna power, because she got the motherfucker super generator of the continent on her
and
side.
how strong it's gonna be.
Yeah.
She should be out here powering their energy supply.
Where are those lightning rods?
Do they even know how to harness electricity?
Probably not, but they should get on that and then utilize her. She can target those lightnings now exactly to hit whatever their electricity machine is. Hopefully it won't fry the system in between working and being
super bursts.
This epigraph, though, also indirectly calls out first Jack, motherfucking Jack Barlow, and second, I almost said Oregon, second Oren.
Who is unbonded and got his eyes on some things.
Yep. Well, MFJB has a little orange.
Tiny orange, really.
Hey, it's not the size that matters, it's how you use it.
It's all about the motion of the ocean.
Okay. Cassie, you are up. I know we have a couple new dragon names in this chapter, so if you would please.
It's actually not so many, it's just a couple. First, I want to start with a pronunciation correction. It's a small one. When we learned Tarn's name, his full name, and one of the words in there I pronounced as Murtkuchum. And I forgot the R's and T's make fun sounds when they're together. So when there's an R before a T, you actually have to sneak in a little sh sound. So it's not mort, it's not mort, it's morsht.
If there's an R and a T, then there automatically has to be an S in there as well. It's just how the letters work.
Naturally.
And I was just thinking about this the other day because if you're talking about having something on, so like when Cara and I practice Scottish Gaelic together, a lot of times we're talking about what perfume we wore today. And one of the ways that you use that is the word orm, which has that little extra vowel. But if you're asking about what someone else has on them, you use a T. So it's actually orsht. So it's like, ha perfume orsht. You have perfume on. Or actually, you have perfume at you, is how that literally translates. And then right after I had that thought, like a day later, I found this Reddit thread by AzureEmpyrean that it's similar to our thread by isolatedcolorYT, where it's got a long list of the words that show up in this book, but instead of translations, it gives you pronunciations. And I found Murshtkuchum on there, and I was like, oh yeah, there should be an SH in there. My bad. So that's the correction and a new resource for y'all. Now on to our new names. The first new dragon name is Smach. Smach.
Oh, I dig that one, actually.
It's got that kind of little H in there, but it's also followed by the CH sound, so it's a little bit hard for me to say. But you don't really have to worry about the D. You just kind of put a K at the end and call it good. Smach. And that one means control or discipline.
Ooh. Oh, I dig that one for Kaori.
Yes.
Because, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess I don't really have to explain why I like that. It's pretty straightforward, but like, I'm pleasantly surprised by that one.
Mm-hmm.
I can promise you the audiobook had nothing like that as the pronunciation.
Oh,
I think
please tell me.
Smotched?
I can't remember. I think they even dropped the CH and they were just like smod.
Smach.
Because I want to call out, we hear his name, or like we read his name once, and then he becomes Colonel Kaori's dragon for the rest of the series.
Yeah, they don't repeat it much, do they? Well, I love how we get this other dragon, and they don't even really have a rider for long. And so then we never hear about them again. So the next one
yes, we do.
is...
Does it bond someone else?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay. So I was confused when Cassie was like...
Look, I don't remember this dragon. I don't even remember how the rebonding process works. I have a question about that in the chapter when we get there. But here's how you say his name. Glown.
Ah!
Glown?
Glown.
No.
So like clown, but with a G.
Yes.
No.
And that
I disagree.
That is, anytime you see A-N-N, you're going to get that own sound, and the E kind of doesn't contribute a lot here.
For you, for the rest of us, it's going to be Glean. Everyone else, including the audiobooks, all of them, is very consistent on this one.
I think I pronounced it in my head Glean, actually, because there's two N's.
Glean. There are lots of ways you could try to pronounce this.
Maybe Glean got snuck in a few times, too.
Yeah. I don't even know how I pronounced it originally. It was probably like Glen or something, which coincidentally, it means glen or valley.
Oh, okay.
And that's all that I found, so hopefully I didn't miss one when I was deep diving into the actual chapter
that's all I
summary.
saw too. John, though, I am dying to know because I cannot remember who does Glown rebond.
It's not Orin Seifert, but it's one of the Unbondeds that Jack Barlow is friends with. Because later,
That's what I
it's
thought.
like in a chapter, in a chapter or two, Jack Barlow and his cronies are going to be observed celebrating because whoever it was managed to create a bond with Glean after this occurs.
Okay.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, we got a name, and now his writer is dead. That's fun.
And goodbye. All right. Cassie, are you ready to take us on a wild journey through chapter 17?
Oh boy, am I. Now, I did try to, there's so much in this chapter, so I tried to skim over a few things that felt less relevant.
Sure.
But we can always, if there's a quote or something that you really like, as always, we can come back to that.
Oh, we'll always be jumping in, you know us.
But I did my best. To, pull out the important stuff.
Condense it out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It is, 9:10, and we planned on starting. Sorry.
Don't call us out on air, John.
No comment. No comment.
Okay, so we're on chapter 17. They are freshly riders.
And freshly ridden, some of them.
They get rooms!
Violet's had that unexpected kiss that it turns out she didn't like so much. So, here we are. She is waking up on a new day.
I'm waking up. Sorry.
I feel it in my bones.
Feeling something.
Can I tell you something really fast? I'm sorry, that song always makes me think of it. So, we all know Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. There's the one spot where it's breathing in the chemicals. So, one time, it was on the radio and my dad was driving. And I was singing the song, and I very dramatically did the gasp, and he freaked out and almost crashed the car. Oh. He thought that something was happening, and I was like panicked. It felt so bad.
Oh, no.
I think he yelled at me because I scared him. Sorry, that is so off topic.
Okay. Back to our first sentence. On brand, though, my first comment is about this first sentence. So, Violet has woken up and she's relishing having her own room. And I was like, I can hard relate, girl. So after we moved, because I used to have to share a room with Kara when we were really little. And we moved, and I finally had my own room. And I didn't have to share with her anymore. And I was just like, this is amazing. This is the best thing in the world. I've got my own space. I don't have to share the bed with a blanket hog. I can have privacy. When I'm mad at my siblings, I don't have to go cry in the bathroom. She wasn't as thrilled to be alone, but I thought it was great, so I really understand where Violet's coming from right now. And her best friend Ree is right across the hallway.
Love that for them. I wonder if they got to choose.
Yeah, I'm because that's very convenient otherwise.
And it doesn't make a lot of sense not to do it that way. Just go find a hallway. Here's your general region.
They've got a really small class this year, so maybe they've got enough rooms that they're just call dibs, I guess.
Or just assign a hallway to a squad and be like, okay, second squad, first wing. This is your hallway, pick rooms.
Sense. Yeah. That sounds more efficient. So anyway, Ree is across the hall, and when Violet goes out there, it's Sawyer who comes out of Ree's room this time.
I love that Ree is living my life here.
And he is so embarrassed to be caught. She is really taking advantage of the first year life.
Yep.
Yes, she is. I mean, not that she wasn't finding her own way before that, but I just it's so cute because he like blushes and I'm like, oh. I don't know. I'm like, how does this not get so awkward like within your squad? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, and they're fine.
She becomes squad leader, and they have to take orders from her. And I want to point out, Sawyer is not the only squad mate that comes walking out of that fucking bedroom. We have to wait until the next book to get the next one. But Liam is going to come trotting out of this bedroom one time. So, like, not only has she taken Sawyer to bed, she's taken Liam to bed, too.
I don't remember her taking
Liam
to bed.
I got this.
I don't remember most of these, so...
But he's not in the next book.
That's true.
Riddick.
That is so funny, given this specific chapter, because she's just like, you'll never see this.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, sorry. It was Riddick. And that's the one where I'm just like, what did it take for Rhiannon to take Riddick to bed?
Honestly, I bet he'd be a fun lay.
Oh, I do too. I would absolutely get down with that. I'm just not sure Rhiannon would.
Yeah, I don't know. We can pontificate on that once we get there.
Clyde, come on. Sorry, my little baby was pounding on the door this time.
Is he scared of Adams too?
No, with how skittish he is.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was before we officially started the episode. My 4-year-old son is very smart and loves to listen to science podcasts, and in one of them about lightning, it had personified some atoms, and they were talking to explain how atoms work, and now he is scared of atoms. So whenever he's alone, he will say, "But I'm scared of atoms."
Yeah, you never know when they're going to start talking to you.
Yeah, Clyde is very skittish about big things or noises or sudden moves, so he probably wouldn't be scared of the atom, but he might try to eat it. I don't know if you guys ever heard this story, but we've got these watermelon sheets, and they're actually on the bed right now. And the first few times we put them on the bed, Clyde thought the little watermelon seeds were bugs, and he tried to eat them and attack them, and he couldn't figure out like why they weren't moving and why he couldn't eat them.
Why are all these dead bugs on your bed, Mom?
They're decorating it.
So Violet's in the hallway waiting for Rita to come out. She's testing her ankle as she does so, which I have also been doing a lot lately, but I haven't sprained or broken mine. It's just...
And here's my note. So I have not broken any bones actually ever, but I have sprained my right ankle several times and twisted it several times before that. And during my physiatry appointment, when she was testing my joint, she was like, "Wow, this ankle." And I'm like, I know, it moves way too much. So I just wrote "same girl" in my notes here because my ankle often be hurting and often be sprained.
Yeah. And she says that normally she would use crutches, but she's settling for the less noticeable boot. A boot made for walking, anybody? I know all boots are made for walking, I get it.
But these boots are made for walking. I wrote down, I underlined crutches, and I wrote, okay, this time I understand, Violet. This is like the one time that I understand her being like, I'm not going to use something or have an accommodation to help me heal because it'll put a target on my back. The crutches would put her at a significant disadvantage because her arms would always be
that is
occupied.
True.
So I'm like, okay, this one I get.
And it's like right after she became target number 1, according to Zayden. So like,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, according to Zayden, because Zayden, I wrote this in all caps, told her that she's got a big enough target. She didn't just like think of this on her own, but we're listening to Zayden now.
That, and then I just had the fun realization. I wonder how many first-year intentions got read by Zayden the night before while they were on the battlefield. He had to have been scanning all their brains and like, fuck, they're all thinking about her shit!
To vet them.
Yeah. No, he said he came to that conversation with the receipts. Not that he shared them, but he came being like, you are the number one target. Pocket. I know this. I'm not guessing.
I've run the
numbers. And if you do a statistical breakdown of how many...
Using a precise logit model...
Here's the intensity of the intention for each category. So, Rhiannon finally emerges, and she's so excited that Violet is there to greet her instead of off on breakfast duty, because that is a task for super seniors now. Or is it super freshmen?
Okay, side note on this for a minute
Super cadets.
Do you think that they get to go to the same classes as the rest of the writers? Because, like, think about this.
Yes.
Once a year you enter the quadrant, and they've been there for 2 months already. So they have 10 months between now and round 2. And, like...
They've got to still be taking classes.
They probably go to the same info classes, but they don't get to go to the flight class or any of the classes that are, probably the only ones they don't get to do are the ones that are actively involved in
writing or
learning your magic and writing.
And so I've got this, like, personal headcanon of mine that, like, basically the deal is, hey, we're gonna let you live for 10 more months, but you have to do all the chores now.
Yeah, basically.
I think that too. But yeah, I imagine it as they're basically
like the interns.
Yeah. Or what is it? This would be a funnier joke if I could remember the word. What's it called when you're taking a class but you're not paying and you're not taking credit?
When
you're auditing. Yep. They're essentially auditing classes right now.
Can you audit Flight Field?
No, not that one.
No. I mean, from the ground, maybe. Like, you can't see anything that's happening or practice, but, like, maybe you can stand there and watch as they all fly away from you.
That has to be the saddest group of people ever.
Wait, but they bring the orange slices and juice boxes after.
Oh, the snacks. Okay, guys. Okay. So the freshly bonded get to learn how to fly instead of doing all of these other chores, which Violet really needs. But she also really needs a new strategy for sparring, which I was like, one-on-one lessons with the master, maybe? But no, not yet.
And again, we get another Zayden's right. Listening to Zayden.
Yeah, so it's fine because, in all caps, Zayden's right. Mm-hmm. And Zayden says that she can't take every enemy down with poison, at least not on the battlefield.
Yeah, fair.
Which is hilarious.
In negotiations, yes.
There are other times where it's
very useful.
Visiting diplomats, for example. So Sawyer, Rhiannon, and Violet, they're walking in the hallway now. I guess Sawyer's probably already gone. But Rhiannon and Sawyer, they were celebrating, and so Rhiannon's like, what about you? Were you celebrating? And oh, Rhi, says Vi, I have not had anyone catch mine eye. But Vi, says Rhi, many eyes saw you not a day ago, mouth to mouth. Says Vi, those eyes do not lie, but while I felt his mouth, my heart felt nothing.
Whoa!
Okay, snaps, girl, snaps. I loved that. Thank you so much for gifting us that reenactment.
And this interpretation from Edgar Allan Poe.
You're welcome. Here's Rhiannon's response. Oh, phooey!
I was a lot less sophisticated. I just wrote where she says, I haven't found anyone I want to celebrate with. I just wrote liar. Liar.
Yes. She's definitely found somebody.
It's just not like
that she wants person to celebrate with. Yeah, I've been slowly working my way through Emma as one of my books I've been meaning to read for a really, 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 really long time. And so I was reading that right before I was taking these notes the other day, and the voice, the style of the prose just kind of got in my head, and when some of the words I was using started rhyming, I was just like, I have to go with
I sat there agog the whole time. I loved it. It was amazing.
It just kept going and going.
I know.
I
was thrilled. That is going to be clipped.
And it really helps that Vi and Rye rhyme.
Yes.
And I.
Yes.
And I, yes. And lie. Now, you don't need me to catalog all the words
what
that
else
rhyme. You can do that on your own.
That's your homework, dear listener.
So before they can discuss this further, there's more evidence of others celebrating emerges in the form of a Helen with Liam Myrie. He's always Liam Myrie first and last in this first half.
Yes. Going back just a tiny bit with Rhiannon's phooey reaction. She's talking about, like, listen, you're not going to get shit from me. Like, I don't care. Anyways, there's no regulation. Like, it's frowned upon, but there's nothing in the rules. And I wrote, so why is Dane being a little bitch? It's not even in the rules, Dane. Come on.
So if you want the answer to it, I can give you the answer, and it doesn't take that long.
Reputation?
No. Conditional love. His father has only ever shown him conditional love, not unconditional love, which means unwritten rules that make you better than the persons who don't follow unwritten rules are prime target for appeasement.
Yeah. Yeah, we got some learned behavior. We got some generational trauma
being passed on.
Yep.
There you go.
He's still being a little bitch.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like, it's still not great. It's still not the way to go about things if you care about this, but whatever. Here to distract. Actually, do you want to go back to Liam and his Helen, or are we good there?
I just wrote,
I don't even know.
Do we find out who? And I wrote no.
The gender.
Yeah, we don't.
It's just another first year. We know that they bonded a brown clubtail.
Yes, and I actually looked this up. Oh, wait, I do have a note about this. So I looked this up, and I'm like, okay, do we know who this is? And the only people that we know of who have bonded a brown clubtail. Sorry, I'm talking slowly to get back to the note.
Have you started a dragon registry for all these obscure names no one's keeping track of?
I haven't, but the internet has.
Okay.
So, okay, it's not loading. That's really excellent. Thanks,
Rude.
phone. Oh wait, here it comes. Okay.
So you just have to talk smack to it, and then.
Just like wigs, if you call it a dirty little bitch, it responds.
Okay, AI overview is bullshit.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I just do -AI now. Actually, I switched my phone browser to something else, but
it completely changed the answer. Okay. So brown clubtails, we got Emery Barnes, who is a third year. Soleil, whatever. Listen, okay.
Look, it's French, and I have French heritage, so I have to be picky about those things.
Soleil, whatever. And then it says unnamed female writer who is seen with Liam, but we don't know if they're a female. First of all,
what year is Soleil?
Third year as well.
Okay, so the first year is just an unnamed first year, and that's right. We don't know it's a female.
Yep, and we never
be anybody.
But we never learn any more brown clubtails.
Well, we know where Violet's priorities are.
Yes, the AI overview was very silly when I looked it up because I do not remember to do this -AI thing.
It's such an extra step. It's so easy to forget. You shouldn't have to.
I'm just going to read this to you because it's very silly. It is important to note that the term writer in this context refers to individuals in the fictional world of the Empyrean series who are bonded to dragons. The term brown clubtail refers to a type of dragonfly in the real world. The fictional brown clubtail dragons in the Empyrean series are not the same as the real world brown clubtail dragonflies.
Oh my god.
What a distinction.
First of all, the real world brown clubtail dragonflies. Blah, 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 blah. So just so you know.
First of all, this is not a Lemony Snicket book, and rider is not a term that he would have explained to us.
So, in case anyone was confused, these are not dragonflies.
And real dragonflies do not breathe fire or have magic.
Is there actually a thing as a brown clubtail dragonfly?
Honestly, there are...
Let me actually look that up.
There are so many kinds of bugs. I would not be surprised if there were. But dragonflies do have some really cool mechanics about, how they can, like, hover and fly in all directions, and they're predatory even when they're in their larval stage. and I do get to see them at work sometimes. The larval ones when they're dead, obviously.
Sad.
Okay, so I'm not seeing anything about specifically a brown clubtail dragonfly, but there are such things as clubtail dragonflies, and presumably there can be a color brown of them. So they do exist.
Okay.
Here's one.
Yeah, looks like a dragonfly to me.
Yeah, but it's an itty bitty dragonfly. I have seen some that are like.
There are some big ones.
They're pretty.
I've seen really big blue ones.
Yeah, blue teals.
Back in Seattle. Yeah. Well, anyway.
It's only page 2. Where are we at?
Here to distract is Rhydock.
Yay!
He puts an arm around each of their shoulders and gives one big hello, ladies. Or is it riders now? And they're like, yeah, we like riders. Go with that one. And so they commence gossiping about each other's relics. Never one to pass up an opportunity to show off some shoulder and bicep. Rhydock pushes up his sleeve to show off his, which is just a dragon silhouette. Like, it's not really exciting to describe, but it's in a great place for his ripped off shirts.
It's very funny though, because especially when we get Rhiannon's little quip here in a moment,
yes.
I'm surprised that Uhtram didn't put it somewhere funnier, because their dynamic is totally that.
Like the top of the thigh or something. Like
no, I'm talking like right. Have you guys seen pictures of guys who tattoo elephants like right above their dick?
Oh no.
Yep, so they put the entire elephant face so it's a trunk.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of dragon with either the tail or like fire breathing like as his dick.
See, but he can't show that off as easily. He can't just walk around without pants on.
He can pull it down a little bit.
Just like above the hip bones.
Or just whenever someone asks, start unbuttoning and make them uncomfortable.
Tyler just poked his head over and looked at me like, what the fuck?
Perfect moment.
Of course. We were just talking about elephant dick tattoos.
Don't mind us.
Violet must sadly keep hers to herself because it's on her back. Can't really take her whole shirt off to show everyone in the hallway. But Rhiannon doesn't even tell us where hers is, informing Rhydock that he would never get to see it, which is hilarious if what John says about Rhiannon and Rhydock later is true, because he's probably there
looking it up.
Yeah, I got to see it.
I'm looking it up.
That's been his whole game. He's
yes.
like, I'm only going to sleep with her because I need to see where this relic tattoo is.
Yeah, and so Rhydock essentially mimes being stabbed in the heart, but Rhiannon is like, no,
you're fine.
I don't think that really hurt you. You're fine. I said insert headcanon for John here that Rhydock is gay and wouldn't have been interested in Rhi anyway.
Give me a second.
I'm pretty sure...
Or bi.
He's bi or he's pan.
Yeah,
like,
Riddick is totally bi.
Yeah. Yeah. I just didn't want you to have to fight Rye for him, that's all.
Give me a second, I'm looking it up.
Okay, while you're looking that up, I have a question. Do we have any guesses, or do we know later where Rhiannon's relic is located? Like, because it's in a place that she doesn't want to show, but it's also got to be a place that her dragon would have thought reasonable to put it.
It is Riddick. Page 27, Iron Flame.
Oh, right at the beginning.
Let's go. Zayden opens the door and I walk into the hallway at the room. At the same moment, Rhiannon, my closest friend in the quadrant, walks out of her room with Riddick, another of our squad mates. Oh, shit.
Well, good for him proving her wrong.
So, there is no...
We don't know where it is. I have no idea.
There's no confirmation. People talk about, well, Tara would know, well, Sawyer would know, well, Riddick would know. Someone says, I felt like it was around the panty line and maybe the tail wraps around her upper thigh. And that's hot, and I like that. So that's my new headcanon.
Never know. It could be a tramp stamp right here.
I was having that thought this whole time about, like, little dragon relic tramps.
I like it wrapping around her thigh. I like that.
That is cooler, and Rhiannon's pretty cool, so I think that tracks. So they've reached breakfast, and behind the counter, taking Via's old duty, is Orin of the...
Seafort clan.
Oh, of the fuck, what is it? The
Little incel bitch boy club.
Bitch boy club.
Okay, good, because I was pretty sure that was the correct order of the words, but I wasn't sure.
Okay, I do have something to say, though, about this. So, this is going all back to the fucking manosphere incel, like, vibe that these boys give off. So, not only did Oren not bond, but he is being literally put in Violet's old place, and he views her as being in his rightful place.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is all about... and now I can't think of the word. This is all about
a woman in the kitchen.
Inversion?
That too. No, it's about like what you think you deserve. Entitlement. It's all about entitlement. He believes that he is entitled to where she is, and he is going to try and put her back into her place, even if that means like
she stole
killing
it from
her. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And now he has to do the domestic duties, as John said. My first thought was, oh no, now he can poison her, but he doesn't have a book of killing or plant knowledge.
Does he look smart enough to be able to pull that off?
Can he even read?
I was like, it pays to be a literate botanist, which he is not. This thought also occurs to Violet, so to be safe, she doesn't take any of the food he's serving and only gets tamper-proof food like fruit. And I was wondering how fruit is tamper-proof.
Notably, she takes an orange which has a rind.
You could just inject it.
Yeah, you can take the peel off. I still feel like, I mean, again, we're getting into like chemical poisoning at this point, which they might not be utilizing in this scenario.
I bet they've got needles.
Well, like...
I'm sure there are ways that you could ruin fruit.
There are if you really wanted to be smart enough about it, but I would argue that most of the ways we can think of are not available to them. Like, they don't have needles. They can't have needles. Everything has got to be an elixir that you drink.
I don't know.
If they did have needles, why didn't Violet get a shot when she was...
They could have metal benders develop... Like, if they knew that was a technology, they could develop... A metal bender could theoretically, maybe, with some super precision skill... make needles, but they'd have to know that was an option in order to train that. So
I don't know. Even though if he were to tamper with the fruit, I guess that is much less precise than handing her poison food. So overall, I would say it is a safer option.
Yeah. So they go to sit down, and everyone else scampers away from them. No new friends for Soren, Gale, and Squad. But a little ways away, the opposite is happening to Mother Flopping Jack Barlow, who is getting pushed out of his table and not allowed to sit with anybody else.
And I have more. I have more about this. Okay. So I wrote, these are like the mediocre white guys that complain about DEI because a more qualified woman or person of color gets the job that they normally would have gotten without even trying. So
yep, that hits a little close to home.
Very relevant to the political landscape that we are currently living in. But yeah, they're just a bunch of little bitch boys that are mediocre and think that they deserve more than they do.
Yeah.
And I hate them. They're tacky and I hate them.
Yeah. Much like me and Drew, Rhydock feels smug about this, and Violet worries that it's further fuel to Mother Foggy Jack Barlow's angry fire.
Mm-hmm.
Drew's the smug one, I'm the worried one.
Mother Foggy?
Yes.
I would say that feels pretty typical along gender lines, that the women may feel a little more scared about they say there's nothing like a woman scorned, but a man scorned can kill you. And there are many cases
the man's
of that
allowed
happening.
to be scorned. The woman has to fight for her scorn.
Yeah. But Violet puts it perfectly. Feral dogs bite harder when they're cornered.
Mm-hmm. Finally, my fave, Imogen, invites herself to the table and informs them all that the weird politeness is because Violet bonded the most powerful dragon, Tarn.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to be on her bad side now.
I just wrote, ugh, I love her. I love her.
And while that power is scaring everyone else off, Imogen and Quinn want to be right in the center of it.
Well, of course.
And now for a fashion interlude. Did you have a comment before we get into our fashion interlude?
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say this is the first time that Quinn is actually named.
Yes, she's not just the one with earrings.
Yes, and we get that confirmed that she is the one with all of those earrings from chapter 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we get. I think this is more of a descriptive description.
Sorry.
Before. I'm sorry. That's not the best phrasing. A more detailed description than we got before. She has hooped earrings that go all the way up both ears. So It's not just like one hoop on each side. And this sounds very cool. I've never seen someone do this before. And now I want to look up pictures because I didn't do that during my research. And we don't have time right now. She also has her signet patch, which is dark green to match her eyes, with 2 silhouettes on it representing her doubling power. So I don't know if we've seen. Obviously we haven't seen this yet because this is the first book.
Did you just call it doubling?
Isn't it projection?
Yeah.
It's
like astral projection.
Look, she gets to make a fake copy.
It's
of her.
spirit walking. It's spirit projection.
Okay, well, there's a real her and a fake her.
Metaphysically speaking, either one is the fake one.
There can be 2 of her in 2 different places at the same time, okay? But fine, astral projection is a cooler sounding name than just like a Pokemon making doubles kind of move. It seems like so this is something I wasn't sure about, but it seems like all of the patches change every year because Violet laments the pointlessness of trying to study any of them, not just the signets and not just their like ranked patches, but like all of them.
And I don't like this.
That seems so disorganized.
It's very
why
disorganized.
Even have them?
Yeah, and I don't know. The only thing that makes sense for me is that the only thing that would make sense for me is that the signet patches change and they only change like the new ones. So like you keep the same one every year, but like if a new person were to get that signet, they would get a different one for that. I don't know. It still doesn't make any sense to me. I just feel like it's so silly.
So
it just doesn't. Yeah, it seems
there could be multiple directions to think about this in. Direction number 1: very few signets are actually standard. Like, you have your fire wielders, water wielders, ice wielders, wind wielders, right? Let's just consider those 4 right there.
Your 4 elements.
Even though water is listed twice. But yes, let's go ahead and list 4 elements.
3.5.
Even if you have those, consider Riddick, who's an ice wielder, but is capable of freezing ice inside of another object. And so there's, like, in my brain, I kind of have this idea where when really weirdo signets show up that aren't standard, they just kind of send you to go meet with the patch maker and design your own
and you get
patch.
to design your own.
Designing your own makes sense, but then, like, what do? Design a new one for yourself every year? Like,
no, and then it's yours. And so that's my point, is like, maybe all water wielders have blue patches, like it's made blue somehow, but what form it takes is kind of a personal expression, but then it's going to be your patch for the rest of your career.
I like this idea, but it's not what it sounds like is happening. It sounds like they change
what the patch, like what the signs are. You know what I mean? Like what the
which is also is. Like a strategic security army point of view, like that.
So, like, does only a squad know what their internal patches mean?
Basically.
The patches just become irrelevant at that point, because if it's, you would already know in your squad who has what.
Yeah.
And if it's pointless to study on it because it keeps changing, then it doesn't do your side any good either.
No comment.
I don't know. I disagree with this.
I have a comparison for them later, but for now, that's all I have to say about that.
And like,
Violet admires her, and like.
Oh, I was gonna say.
You have something else to say?
When it comes to my theory about making their own patches, I could be completely wrong, because when Violet gets her patch, she just kind of describes it as black with white lines. It's not like she says, and I got to design it, so I had them make this shape.
Yeah, I doubt that they actually get very much input on this. It's just kind of like handed to them, and they get to put it on somewhere.
Who's making the patches?
See, this is a question I have. I'll get there in like 3 sentences.
Okay, sorry.
So, Violet Violet admires her flame-shaped fourth wing patch that they all got, and we learn that they get to stitch them onto the uniforms themselves, which makes sense because who has the time to be doing all these small sewing jobs for every single new rider?
Wait, and that reminds me, Tyler. Did you have to sew on your own patches? Like if... Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, they leave it up to service members as well, but Tyler took his to a seamstress instead of doing it himself.
Yeah, because I was going to say, this brings into question the handiwork of all the riders.
And whether or not Riddick's patches actually stick.
Yeah, like, are they staying on or are they falling off? Like, are they going to the, like, oh, that rider over there, she knows how to sew. We're going to give her all of the uniforms and tell her where to put them. Because this just... Yeah, I don't trust that everyone here knows how to sew.
Yeah.
It makes me think of...
A bartering system, though,
could exist. It makes me think of the joke about the costuming department for the time travelers, where, like, you want to go to 1600s Baroque England?
Yes!
Bone corsets take at least 3 weeks' notice.
You want a time travel book that, like, really leans into that? DODO, I don't even remember what it stands for, but it's got 2 authors, and they really... I just really like how much emphasis they put on the whole, like, no, you cannot get that, and no, you cannot take this one because someone else needs to take that dress to this place over here. And it will not be clean in time for you to take it next. Have you tried to steam a Victorian gown? Okay, so then my next question is, does Aiden really not wear his for secrecy purposes, or is he just a really bad sewer?
Honestly, he grew up essentially as like a little prince, so I doubt that he ever had to learn how to sew.
But at some point, you think that, like, Garrick or Bodhi or Imogen or someone would look at Zayden and be like, you want me to sew the patch on for you?
No, because then he'd be like, no, I'm making a statement with his arms crossed.
At that point, he's like, no, this is reasons.
This is who I am. I know how to sew.
I'm just imagining The Incredibles 2. It defines who I am.
Where did you hear that? I don't know, someone on TV.
Yep.
My next question is, do you think the people who don't put them on their uniform put them, like, somewhere else? Like a blanket? Like how you put water bottle stickers on, like, you put on your laptop or your whatever? Or,
and this is kind of a really side note, but, like, some Boy Scouts they get a sash, and they put all of their patches on the sash rather than their uniform.
That is an upcoming comment that I have. I don't know where it comes, but it is somewhere in this chapter.
Okay.
I feel like Zayden just throws his in
a box.
Little wardrobe. And yeah,
but I really want to picture Zayden with, like, I don't know, like a little baby blanket or something that he's like stitched his patches all in the corner of, just for, like, keepsake purposes.
Because of course Zayden fucking Ryerson is planning the baby blanket he's going to give to his children.
Look, he's a softie in there. He's sentimental.
Let's write Rebecca a letter. Hey, Rebecca, can you please put in
petition? We just need to get a bunch of signatures from relevant constituents. We need to make this a poll in our stories for this episode. Would you sign our petition? Okay, so we're back at the table. Fashion show's over. Sawyer, Heaton, and Emery also join. Heaton is wondering why Oren didn't bond any dragons, and to which Violet reveals the murder attempt on Andarna. There's a lot going on, so they don't really talk about this much.
She says, maybe I should have kept that to myself. And again, why? Why? Why do you need to keep this to yourself? If more people know, more people can have your fucking back.
Right? Like,
there's no reason to keep this to yourself.
You are not hurting yourself in any way, shape, or form by sharing the information that you protected a dragon from murderous humans. Like...
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, that's some big info right there.
Big
But
info.
instead, they just jump to speculating that Mother Fuzzy Jack Barlow only managed to bond because he found a small dragon.
Mother Fuzzy! I swear to God, half of my reactions tonight are just gonna be which way you decide to say motherfucking Jack Barlow.
Motherfucking Jack Barlow. But, of course, the age-old question that we discussed last episode, or did he? Especially because it's a smaller dragon. I don't know. I don't think he's bonded.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Could it also be that he only managed to entrap a small, weaker-minded dragon with his venom powers?
Mm-hmm.
And instead of talking about all of this, Rhiannon suddenly notices that Violet is only eating fruit. And that's no way to bulk up. This is like me talking to Kara about how she's been trying to gain weight because she's so small. And just can't get her to put anything on. And I've seen what she eats for dinner, because that's what the rest of us eat for dinner, but her and Drew, they're so bad at remembering to eat anything during the day.
Same, but then I eat a ton at night to make up for it, and that's not good.
I used to do that, and the dietitian told me to stop doing that, and
well,
then
I
needed
know
to eat
I
breakfast,
should stop.
even if I wasn't hungry. And so I started doing that, and I guess it made a difference because my triglycerides and other things started looking better. And I stopped getting headaches in the evening, and I stopped being as dizzy and tired before dinner, and I stopped getting hunger cramps. Look, I'm just saying, it sucks, but you have to do it. So, like a good mom friend, Imogen scrapes her sausage onto Violet's plate.
While complaining.
But ever suspicious, Violet is certain that Imogen is trying to trick her into eating poison, because it was her who brought up the question of killing her at that secret meeting.
Yes.
But Violet doesn't know the rules of girl code or folks who eat at the same lunch table.
Or the bond that the marked ones have, that now Violet is an honorary inductee of.
Yes.
Right.
And Imogen isn't even making anyone else wear pink on Wednesdays or otherwise. So just get with the program.
But of course, she's always sporting the pink.
Always.
See, she's taken it for the team.
Yes.
Grumpy Dad Tarn tells her to just eat it, so she gives in.
Grumpy Dad
And
Tarn.
he says, you can trust her, because Zayden does.
Because he knows.
Ooh, it all comes back.
Not to mention the fact that, like, Taryn probably hunted down her dragon and threatened bodily harm if it wasn't friendly.
Probably.
Again, with, like, their conversation at this lunch being all over, or breakfast being all over the place, we're now off to Emery showing off their signet with a whoosh through the dishware. But then the extent of their skill is classified, and no one gets to find out anything else.
Just a quick point of order there. Emery, I believe, is he, him. Heaton is they,
Heaton
them.
is...
Yeah.
Look, anyone can be they by default.
No, absolutely. It just does say he.
They're just... they keep being talked about in the same paragraphs, and so I just...
I literally don't think we get anything from Heaton other than they sit at the table.
Yeah.
And says, I thought that Orin would bond.
Yeah, Heaton's the one that asks about Orin, and then I don't think Heaton is a very talkative person.
Later, they both make comments about how they never wanted to be in leadership to begin with, and that's just kind of the extent of the last we hear from them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Emery is like, none of your business. I just wanted to show off, but not tell you anything. And now we're back to Imogen, who's informing Violet that she's taking over sparring lessons from Rhiannon. Tough luck, but Imogen has seniority and superior skill on you, so you can't really object.
I think we need to do a retake, because she's not taking over sparring lessons. She's adding on weight training.
That is true.
She is... Yes, but she basically is saying... Yeah, because she's talking about meeting in the sparring gym, and she doesn't really explain what
she just says,
doing...
I'm going to help you with weights.
Yeah.
You need to strengthen the muscles around your joints. And I just wrote, like me and Cass. Super relevant.
Especially if you want to climb on a dragon.
Okay, so yes, she's not taking over sparring. She's just saying sparring's insufficient.
Yes.
Which, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like how my PT is like, just because walking, just regular old walking, is making your calves sore, doesn't mean that's enough to strengthen them. You have to actually do the exercises.
Rude.
So that
what do
walking
they know?
will stop making your calves sore. And I'm like, but it hurts.
Sounds fake, but okay.
Violet can't figure out why Imogen cares, because she's not even on her squad. But she's one of Xaden's top crew, and Violet has to stay alive to keep Xaden alive.
Well, they are in the same squad, but that didn't matter
because of
earlier.
the reshuffling, or...
They've always been in the same squad.
They are in the same squad?
Always been.
So she's just saying it's not a squad thing, because obviously she had no qualms about trying to rip my arm off when we were in the same squad. Yeah.
Yes, because they were willing to kill her before, but... Yeah. So you're right. The main reason is that everybody who's marked knows that, like, now that they're bonded to mated dragons, like, they've got to keep each other alive.
Yep.
And that means, unfortunately, that they have to keep Violet alive, too, even though they hate her.
They'll come to love her, don't worry.
So sharpening up that weak link is Imogen's top priority, and possibly in order.
Oh, most definitely in order.
Most
definitely in order, but... But yeah, Violet's just... We don't get confirmation of that. Violet's just, we know, but Violet is speculating, yes. We get some covert, in quotes, glances over to Xaden's table, where she catches Garrick's worried face, and ogles Xaden peeling an apple with a dagger.
Hot, first of all.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Okay, your reaction versus I have a sticky note here from Drew that says, just eat the apple, you prima donna.
No. Fuck you, Drew. Sorry.
Yeah, like if he had knife skills, like not just chopping, cooking knife skills, but like if you could peel an apple in one
while
strip,
not
he
even
wouldn't.
looking.
Yeah.
So my thing is, like, have you guys watched Firefly?
No.
Yes. We just made Kara start watching it.
It's amazing. There's an episode in the middle of the season where they talk about how Captain Reynolds and his first officer Zoe will never bite into fruit. They always cut into it, and why? And the answer is because you never know if it's fruit or if it's something that looks like fruit but will blow your head off. And so that's the image I have, is Xaden is like making sure that it's actually an apple.
Tampered with.
Yeah.
Just maybe with explosives instead of poison.
Right, like,
who knows?
I don't know if they have explosives of that nature in this world, but it's an
Do they have, like, does someone have, like, a mimicry signet?
Careful of that chest, it might be a mimic.
Oh. Now I'm just watching Jared hit every chest in every game because it might bite him every time he plays it.
Can I do an investigation check on that apple?
Okay. Roll me your investigation.
Wait, I have a d20 around here somewhere.
I need a perception roll.
Yeah, perception check.
Well, no, I'm looking at it. I'm investigating. I have a +2 to investigation.
Yeah, those are different. See, I don't play this enough to say the correct things. I just know that you have to roll things, and if your score is high or low, I get to tell you if you noticed.
Oh, man. Noah knocked my dice out all over the place. I'm doing this.
Oh, no.
Hold on.
I have one at work for rolling which square of substrate to look for bugs in. We used to use 2 regular dice to, like, do a grid system, but one of my coworkers just randomly came in one day and was like, I got everyone D20s.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Or no, actually they're D30s because we have 30 grids.
Okay. I got a 3. So.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's an apple.
It's a fruit to you. So Violet and Xaden's eyes lock and her head tingles. We get a Spidey sense alert.
We get a Spidey sense, and all that he is seeing are her sexy, naughty, dirty intentions towards him, and that's not helping him.
I know, I'm right. Mentally, Violet is swooning over the table with a handkerchief to her forehead, lamenting, how can he be so hot?
She's like, I'll have what he's having, please.
And he's ordering his pawns around to save me.
Yeah. Can he undress me like he's undressing that apple? And he's already struggling.
You want him to peel your clothing off of you with a blade?
Wait, what?
What?
You want him to peel your clothing off of you with a blade?
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, she does.
Yeah? Sign me up.
You won't be needing that anymore.
Hey, she can get another one from
from
wherever the fuck.
costume services.
They say it earlier when she loses her shirt after sparring. Central issue or whatever the fuck.
The costume department.
Yes. But we already know that he's having major problems with how attracted he is to her and how much he wants to get in her bed, and he's probably like, fuck, shut it down, I can't do this right now.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah. I was just having my, like, what if Violet was one of the Victorian characters in Emma? Like, what would she be doing? Obviously, she's having probably much different imagery than just what I described, but I just thought it was so funny and out of character for her to be, like, fanning herself with her handkerchief. And then I have this, I had to read this quote. Xaden Rierson is now in the business of keeping his mortal enemy alive. Which Drew's note is, you're not mortal enemies. Buddies, underlined. Drew is the worst romance book reader.
Out of curiosity,
I wouldn't say they're buddies yet.
Are they mortal buddies? Or just buddies?
I mean, there is some mortality at stake for their buddyhood, so...
Why don't we say, like, mortal friends?
Because buddy is funnier.
No, I just mean in general. We say, you're my mortal enemy.
Yeah. Well, there's gotta be, like, ride or die.
Does this mean that we're gonna have Mortal Kombat at some point?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Any other comments about the apple or mortal buddyhood or swooning?
I just want to say that I, as a teenager, was a big fan of Draco Malfoy and of Tom Felton as Draco Malfoy. And there are a couple little scenes with him and an apple. And and let me tell you how much fucking, like, baby teen horniness that gave me, where I was like 13 and I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself because I am so attracted to this man biting an apple, this boy biting an apple.
Are you talking about when he's repairing the transporting cabinet or whatever it's called?
No, when he's like tossing it up and stuff. Is that like, am I picturing the right scene?
Oh,
I believe it's 4.
Yeah.
And then he like aggressively bites into it as he walks away.
Yes.
I
see.
There was a little gif of that I watched constantly.
But see, I can't. Oh,
and I remember,
it's from Hagrid's First Class.
Well, yes, Hagrid's First Class is him biting that one.
Apparently,
so that would be 3.
I'm looking.
There's one.
I googled Draco Malfoy apple, and the only images from the movie series that have him holding an apple are from that scene.
Could have sworn there was another one.
I thought there was another one where he like tosses it and catches it.
That's in book 6 when he repairs the vanishing cabinet, and he like puts the apple in the thing, and it comes back with a bite taken out of it.
Oh, there's another one.
That's not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of him holding it, tossing it in the air, and catching it one-handed. I could be hallucinating, if we're using an AI term, this memory.
Oh my god! There's literally a fan ship. It's called Drapple.
Yep. I will say the other Draco one that particularly got me. Maybe I'm conflating the two because I think the scene I'm thinking of in Goblet of Fires when he's up in a tree and he like comes down. He was like, "My father thinks he won't last 10 minutes."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and so I think I'm conflating the two because they're my two favorite. But I remember like, do you remember in the early days of Facebook when we have tag groups now, but there used to be like Abby likes this, and it would be something like really long and ridiculous.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I can't remember the exact wording of it, but it was basically like, I wish Dracos grew in my tree or some bullshit like that. And it was just like, if Rachel, shout out if Rachel's listening right now, because I know she said that she's been listening. Her and I went back and forth on if we had a Draco tree, um would he grow naked on the tree? Would different body parts grow in different places? How would this work?
That went somewhere
So-
very quickly.
So we were very yeah, we weren't okay.
I would like
Anyway,
to share,
yeah.
it is according to the shipping.fandom.com wiki for Drapple, that there are exactly 2 canonical movie scenes with Draco Malfoy and a green apple. The first is Prisoner of Azkaban at Hagrid's first class, and the second is when he puts it into the Vanishing Cabinet. So I declare
Yes.
correctsies.
Yes. No, I wasn't denying those two. I just was imagining a third one because I was conflating it with my other favorite scene.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just making one up whole cloth, so.
Maybe you're thinking of Twilight.
Who knows, honestly.
Oh my god, Tom
Anyways.
Felton has commented on this. Oh my god.
Yes. He's made TikToks where it's like, what kind of apple are you? And it pops up with Granny Smith, and he's like, yeah.
As a guy, he is so great.
I love him. I love Draco. Before I knew fanfiction existed, whenever I imagined myself in the Harry Potter universe, I imagined myself like having to like make Draco fall in love with me to either trick him or like make him be good. Yeah, this is embarrassing. Can I?
Here's one from 2017.
No
Well, it's
way.
better than the Drapple ship. How is he supposed to be with an apple? That's Tom Felton. And then the one that really makes me happy here, Drary makes more sense than Drapple.
Oh, 100%. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Well,
I'm not
human,
getting
for
it
one.
on with the
Yeah.
fruit. That's a quote. I'm not getting it on with the fruit.
But you do eat the fruit.
No, Draco is fully obsessed with Harry. And you can't change my mind.
Oh, he's definitely obsessed with Harry.
Oh, God. He doesn't know what to do with all those feelings.
Oh, I definitely read many Drary stories.
Same.
That's one I
I feel like
definitely
that's the
did.
top ship I've ever heard of.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay, we're so off topic, but I have to tell you guys, since we're talking about Harry Potter and fanfiction, I read a fanfiction and I didn't finish it because I don't remember why. There was probably so much going on in my life, and I think it was being like updated as I was reading it. So, anyways, the fanfiction was that Harry post the Battle of Hogwarts, like something nasty happened with Ginny, and so the Weasleys like hate him, and like there's all this like toxicity going on, and so he somehow ends up living in the Malfoy Manor, and he's with Lucius, and then Lucius gets Harry pregnant.
Oh my gosh!
Side plot where Draco is in a throuple with Fred and George. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever read. Editing Abby here, popping in to give some quick context. At this point, John shares his screen with the rest of us to show us a picture of Tom Felton. Oh no, what is this? Yes, I saw that. He looks so unimpressed.
Oh, wait, who is that?
Tom Felton, who
Well, Tom
played...
Felton's a random fan who brought him an apple.
Oh, it's a random person. Okay, that's why I was like, I recognize him, but
Imagine
He looks
how many
thrilled.
pictures this man has taken with a green apple.
Oh, so many. He's so unimpressed.
well, it's his fault for eating an apple hotly. Like,
Hey, I bet that was the sexual awakening for a lot of young girls and boys.
Not me, but okay.
Okay, that's fine, but I'm sure that there
Not
are plenty.
everyone, just a lot of them, okay?
I love the fan art. Space in the apple.
Spaces in the apple. Yeah, I am having very mixed feelings about this fan art.
I need you to know that there is very likely going to be a post going up on the Instagram sometime in the next few days of just a bunch of Draco Apple pictures, just to be aware.
Oh dear.
Are we talking real time, as in when we're recording this, or posting time around the time this is posted?
Oh, I'm talking real time. The audience will just have to figure shit out as they go.
Like, what the fuck?
Zero context. Just be like, this is a teaser.
This is what happens when John Instagrams.
Oh dear.
Oh god.
All the tact of a 40-year-old dad trying to figure out the app for the first time.
Yeah, we can blame it on that. This is yeah, anyway. I was about to use a horrible metaphor. Are we done with this section?
Yes, sorry. Sorry.
Are you ready to go to flight school?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, God. I thoroughly embarrassed myself.
Now I'm looking at Drapple on Tumblr.
That's what pods are for. Okay, I will need you to focus in a few minutes.
Yes, sorry.
But for now...
Oh my god!
No!
Last thing, John. Last thing.
Yeah, okay, I have to share this.
Yeah.
How about this twist? Knowing how much Draco loves his apples, Harry decides to get his attention.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it so much. I want to go read some Harry Potter fanfiction. Anyways. Editing Abby here. Unfortunately, due to so many tangents, chapter 17 is way too long, so we are going to pause here. This is going to be part 1, and we are going to get you part 2 of chapter 17 next week. Until then, goodbye.
Bye.
Jenny.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Wing Readers. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky at The Wing Readers, or you can send us an email at thewingreaders@gmail.com. It would mean the world to us for you to subscribe and rate us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. New episodes drop every Tuesday. We'll see you in Chapter 17, Part 2.